officially starting our meeting of the Vision Masters Toastmasters Club, calling the meeting to order. I shall now don my hat of club president and welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. Cassandra, hello and welcome. Kari, hello and welcome. Lisa, hello and welcome. Dee Marie, hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
It's a good day. It's a good day. Glad to see everybody. I'd like to welcome our guest. And we've got some interesting speeches today. Theme for the meeting is preparation and practice. Whenever I see that word practice, comes to mind is the general idea that people have is you got to practice to get better. Practice, practice, practice. And I remember or recall a little modification of that that little saying. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And that's a quotation from actually the late Vince Lombardi, a coach who coached one of the most successful, famous football teams from an era because he believed in doing it until you get it right and practicing. So that's something to keep in mind. Perfect practice makes perfect. And as we think about preparation and practice, we should have the idea that we're not just going through the motion, but we are practicing to deliver the ultimate performance, whether it's a speech, something physical, or delivering a musical piece. So preparation and practice, that's our theme for the day. Right now, I will don the hat of Toastmaster, and as such, I will introduce our general evaluator who will introduce the members of his team.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Tonight we have our evaluator, Cassandra Garabedian, and we will have for our first speech, Kari's speech, and then we'll have a round robin evaluation for Cynthia's speech. We also have Bruce Taylor as our Occult grammarian. Bruce, would you like to explain your role?
Yes, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As the grammarian, my primary responsibility is to take note of the use of grammar and also use of the word of the day. I'm told the word of the day is rehearse, and the definition is to practice for later performance. And when called upon by the GE, I will deliver my report.
Thank you, Bruce. And our timer for tonight is Wes Sahai. Wes, can you explain your role to us?
Yes, I will, Mr. GE. My role as a timer, I will time the three parts of the program: the prepared speech, the civil topic, and the evaluation part. I believe the prepared speech, the first speaker, the speech will be 13 to 15 minutes. 13 minutes, I'll show green one, and 15 minutes, 14 minutes, yellow, and 15 minutes red. And I think the question and answer, I heard, I don't know, 6 to 8 minutes. 6 minutes green, 7 minutes yellow, and 8 minutes red. That's the question and answer. And for our second speaker, 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes also green, 6 minutes yellow, and 7 minutes red. And I think the question and answer, I saw it on the agenda, 3 to 5 minutes, 3, 4, and 5 minutes. Also 3 minutes for green, 4 minutes for yellow, and 5 minutes for red. And the table topic question, 1 to 2 minutes, 1 minute green, 1.5 minutes yellow, and 2 minutes red. And for evaluation from 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and red means 3 minutes. So everyone, when you see green, that means you're about to finish your conclude your speech, and red means you have to finish within 30 seconds. So don't stop before you see green, and don't continue after you see red. So I'll give a report later on. And Kari, do you have a timer next to you, or should I verbalize it?
Yeah, I have my own timer here.
Okay, thank you. So
Okay.
back to you, Mr. GE.
Thank you, Wes High. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mike. And Mike has graciously stepped up for the role of general evaluator for tonight's meeting. I have just some fun facts and information as an introduction for Mike. He was born in Oakland, a local kid, grew up in Berkeley. He's a retired CPA with a master's degree in taxation. And I'm imagining that he probably has a number of folks who seek his services at various times of the year. He has served as club treasurer, an educational vice president, and an area director. He's combined 2 Path and the Pathways program. He has completed 2 Paths and the Pathways program and a Toastmasters youth leadership program. Impressive. Mike, he's the current club coach for Vision Masters Toastmasters Club. So a little hand and kudos to our general evaluator for tonight's meeting, Mike Pruitt. By the way, I'd just like to add that the serving as a Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program, so important in terms of involving young people and getting them to appreciate the role of communication, not just in the club, but particularly in everyday life. So kudos. Moving along with the meeting, we have our first speaker, Kelley. She's Amazon International best-selling author of Living Resiliently. She's also the author of Black, Blind, and Female. And she is the creator, producer, and performer of her own one-woman shows. One, Somebody Else's Child, also 3 Chairs, and From Garbage to Gold. She is the subject and star of the documentary Gifted Messenger. She has a website, voicesofresilience.com. She's speaking from the Better Speaker Series, which is a set of presentations offering instruction on basic speaking skills. Presentations in this series provide new speaking techniques and facts that can help all club members develop their communication skills. Successful speech making consists of more than just devising an idea, writing down notes, and standing up at the lectern for a specified length of time. The difference between a truly excellent speaker and an average one lies in the amount of preparation that goes into their presentation. Kari will give you front row seat to her preparation and practice of her one-woman show. Kelley, my preparation for performance, Kelley. My preparation for performance, Kelley.
Thank you so much. Can I request to be spotlighted, please?
You are.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the first thing that I have to do when I am preparing for my performance is to pack my prop bag because my show has props. And this bag is very special. It says, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, honey, who's gonna love you, huh? That's the worst New York accent I've ever heard. So the first thing that goes into my prop bag is this doll. Now, this doll has a story. Originally, back in 2019, when I did the show for the first time, I had one doll. But I also had, I think, a 5-year-old granddaughter. So needless to say, that doll came up missing. And I had to buy a new one. I got this one, and I got it delivered. It got delivered to the wrong address. So when I called the company to tell them that I needed a new doll because the one that I ordered didn't show up. The next day, the original order that I placed showed up, and I could tell somebody had opened the box. And I got the impression that when they saw this doll, they didn't have much use for this doll. So they made sure that I got my doll. So this is my doll. And during my performance, I talk to this doll as if it is my newborn self. And I'm giving myself the, you're gonna be strong, you're gonna be resilient pep talk. Because in my show, somebody has to give me what I grow to find as the inner spark that lit me to keep me living for the longest. So this doll goes into my prop bag. It's one of the first things that goes into the prop bag. Okay. The next thing that goes into the prop bag is this teddy bear. Now, as I do my show, I portray myself as a small child, a 4-year-old child that has all these secrets to keep that I can't tell anybody about, but I can tell my teddy bear all my little secrets. As I'm the 4-year-old girl, and I got secrets about the big boys in my house. You won't tell Teddy, will you? You won't tell. Okay. So the teddy bear goes in the prop bag. At one point, there is very, very challenging parts of the story that I share. And for that part, I have a garbage bag. It's a normal, everyday garbage bag. I think this is the big ones that they use for yard waste. And I custom designed this garbage bag so that I could wear it for my show. So I put this garbage bag on, and I have a little song that I sing. I'm sitting by the garbage can, waiting for the garbage man. I'm going to the dump where I belong. Oh, today is garbage day, so come and take me away. I'm going to the dump where I belong. And I talk about the dark days of my life and how I was so sad and how I didn't feel like my life was worth living at all. I thought that my life was no better, no more valuable than the trash. However, there was always this little light or little spark that never went out, that would just, no matter how dark everything was, it never went out. And I portray that spark with this tea light candle. It's not very bright, and you can't see that it works in this light because the light I'm standing under is brighter than the little candle, but it is lit. And I put it in such a way where you can see it, and it's lit while I'm wearing this garbage bag. And this is that spark that I gave to my newborn self in that baby doll. So I put this, it has a special bag. It doesn't go in the prop bag by itself because it's tiny and I don't want it to get lost. So this is the little bag that holds the light. Then I talk about how that light gets a little bit brighter because I start to feel the presence of that light, and I start to believe that maybe I'm not the garbage after all, and maybe there's something that is valuable and something that may actually be meaningful for me to live for. And I portray that with a different light. Now this one is really bright, so I'm not gonna hold it up to the camera, but it's here. And that also goes into the little pink bag, and that goes into the prop bag. There comes a time where I need to take this garbage bag off, because as that light gets brighter and brighter, and I talk about how much I'm beginning to value how precious life is and how valuable my precious life is, I begin to believe that I'm not the garbage. And I actually ball the garbage up and I say, I am not the garbage, and I throw it and I say, neither are you. Anybody who has felt like their life is not worth living and worthless and without, throw that garbage away, because you are not the garbage. So here comes the fun part. Now I get to dress up. I get to dress up, and the first thing that I get is my golden headpiece. And I love this part. This is like one of my favorite parts, to start putting on all the glitz and glam, and this is the fun part. So that's the top part. Here's the headpiece, because as your mind begins to transform in your head, the top is where it starts. Your mind is where it starts. You begin to think better thoughts, and you begin to believe better things from the top. It moves from your head to your heart. The play is called From Garbage to Gold. So then I have this beautiful gold dress that I probably can't fit anymore since 2019. I might have to go on a diet to get back in it. Oh my gosh. If I'm gonna do this show in April, I'm gonna have to figure out if this dress will fit me. But basically I put it on. I guess we'll see if it fits, right? We're gonna check it out. Oh wow, okay, it fits. So now I'm all dressed in my gold, and I get to say from garbage to gold. And now I'm golden. And that's pretty much the finale. There's a little other stuff that I do at the end of the show, but all of this has to make it into the prop bag. So the prop bag, in goes the headpiece, in goes the dress, And my prop bag is now full. So the next thing is to find a venue. Anybody got any places that might want to see a show like that? You should call me or send me a text. I put my number in the chat so you can text me. Let me know if you have a venue that might want to see my show from garbage to gold. This show was based on my own story, my own experiences, and I'm a child abuse prevention advocate. I am legally blind because of child abuse. I was shaken, and while I was being shaken, my head was smacked so hard that fluid built up on my brain, and I didn't get medical attention for 10 whole days. As a result, I am now legally blind, and I have enough eyesight to get in trouble, but not enough to get a driver's license. And I have enough wherewithal to take care of that little manlet that you hear screaming right now, even though I have the door closed. I have enough eyesight to get in trouble, but not enough to get a driver's license. And I've seen the way some of you people with normal eyesight drive, and I could drive just as bad. I have the worst road rage. You should see me cussing folks out from the passenger seat. I am no joke, really. And because of that, because of what I went through, I share my story with social workers that are placing children with adoptive families or caregivers. And I try to make sure that they pay attention to the types of families they were placing people in, children in. So it's important for me to continue to do my show. Every time I feel tired and frustrated that I don't want to do my show, I'll get a phone call from somebody who says they heard my story or they saw something and they remembered me and they want to make a difference. They want to help with keeping children safe. And that is why I continue to do my show. That is why I am just determined to find ways to keep telling my story, keep sharing whatever it takes so that I can inspire other people to do whatever it takes to keep children safe. I've written books. I've done this one-woman show along with 2 others. The Gifted Messenger story came about with a girl who saw me interviewed on the local city access channel. And she was in high school doing her project for her high school credit. She was helping out the camera person and she saw me, she grabbed my book. And then when she got to be a senior in college, she reached back out to me. This is years later. When she was in high school, I didn't believe that she would really reach back out to me. I was thinking, oh yeah, you say that now. You're a junior in high school. Everything changes when you get busy and you get in college. You won't remember me. But she remembered me. And now she was a senior at Santa Clara University. And she had a senior project to do a documentary. And I am the subject of that documentary, and it is called Gifted Messenger. So, with all of that said, you have seen my preparation for my performance. What you haven't seen is the practice of me actually doing the show all the way through over and over and over and over, so I can make sure I connect with my audience so that they are inspired to help me keep children safe. Thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for that wonderful speech, Kari. We do have a few minutes for Q&A.
Okay.
And well, I'll go first. One, I appreciated hearing your speech. As someone who appreciates what it takes to do a performance, whether you're part of a group or particularly doing a solo performance, it takes a lot of the performer. For you to go into what it requires for you in preparation and not even going into the whole practice, definitely was inspirational. It was informative, but definitely inspirational. Definitely have a higher level of appreciation for getting ready to do the performance. Even if you've done it the first time or you're doing it the 100th time, the preparation is so important. So I want to thank you for your speech. And Cynthia Stott has her hand, and then Dee Marie.
Hey, Kari. Wow, that was an excellent speech, and we really got the flavor of what you go through and how to prepare and prep for our performances. Although I don't have anything as elaborate as yours. I remember your documentary. It's only 8 minutes long, so it's nice and short. I wonder if you could share it with us in the chat as a link or where we might find that on your social media. And I wanted to make sure we had your email and text number. Maybe I missed it because I got booted out and then came back in. But I remember watching the premiere of your 8-minute show documentary at the college during their college session. You and I went to that, and then we did a whole premiere of it. And Cassandra came with us. She came on BART, and I drove her down to Santa Clara, dropped her back on BART. Are you thinking about incorporating in April into your one-woman show? Are you thinking about incorporating that documentary, maybe showing the documentary before you speak or after you speak? Anything like that?
I haven't gotten that far, but let me start with my text number is in the chat because I did say that I missed messages in the chat last week or 2 weeks ago because I didn't tell everybody that I turn off my the voiceover so that I don't get distracted while I'm doing my speech, but I forgot to turn it off today. Anyway, so the text message is in the chat. Everything that I have, all my books, all my everything that I do, videos and everything is on my website, voicesofresilience.com. You can watch Gifted Messenger there. You can watch Garbage to Gold there too. What I didn't say is I'm changing it because now, you heard that my little manlet, that's what I call him. He's my 2-year-old grandson. Well, when I did this show before, I didn't have a grandson. So now I have to make the show, I have to incorporate him into the show because Garbage to Gold had all about his 3 older sisters in it. I haven't thought about how I'm going to incorporate that 8-minute documentary. It might be something that plays in the lobby, like over on a loop in the venue, depending on where I end up at. Or people can play, people can watch it on the website or put it on Facebook. I think it's out there on YouTube or actually the documentary is on Vimeo. But if you go to my website, you can see it. It is 8 minutes. It's done by some college students. They're all grown up now and they're out doing their thing. So, but it was amazing to me that the woman who was in high school reached out to me once she was a senior in college. Who does that, right? So, any more questions?
Just one last question. you're interested in doing your one woman show live? Is that anywhere in the Bay Area? And are you willing to go outside of the Bay Area? I know we might be able to get you a spot in Toronto, Canada. We talked to a person about that, and maybe Nashville or
Half show will travel, half passport will travel. That's what I'll say about that. I do have my
Bahamas, right?
passport now, so I will go where I am needed because child abuse is everywhere. And if I can make a difference wherever I show up, then I will be there to do that.
Thank you
Good
so much.
question. Thank you. DeMarie Shy King.
First of all, congratulations, Kari.
Thank you.
I think that there is nothing any more dramatic than the example that you show or give when you put on the garbage bag. Anyone that missed that, oh my goodness. So I want to congratulate you and thank you for making such a tremendous effort to shed light on a very serious condition and malady in our society as child abuse. If I wanted to help, is there a number or something that I could call or use to get involved with the advocacy to prevent child abuse?
The number that I always give in a public forum is 1-800-4-A-CHILD. The number 4, the number 2, I think that's where the A is, and then child, you spell out child, and that will take you to the place where you can report any incident that you need to report. I believe they have resources for if you want to be more involved. They have options for that as well. So 1-800-4-A-CHILD.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. More questions?
Doesn't look like we have any more questions right now.
Okay.
I am going to ask our timer to give us like 90 seconds, and for those who wanted to offer a comment, to if they can put that in the chat, would you be able to retrieve that?
No, but my information is in the chat. My email address and my text message is text phone is in the chat. That would be better. Or if you feel okay saying it out loud while I'm here, or that does go on the recording. So
Well, we have your contact info, 1-408-373-7263.
yes.
Okay.
You can send me text messages at that number.
Okay. Thank you again. That was very, very heartfelt and informational.
Thank you.
What it takes to prepare. And it's not just a performance, for you are sharing something that is part of your life and who you are. And to do that in front of folks, strangers, mostly, and yet give that depth of feeling about it, it's special. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was one example of preparation, and wow, I learned a lot in terms of what it takes. Even though it's a one-person show, that Kari share with us, there's a lot that goes into that preparation, and that was just the props, let alone her preparing how she is going to be present in doing the show. So thank you for that part of exhibiting and sharing with us preparation. We have a second speaker for tonight's program. Our second speaker is Cynthia Stott. Cynthia has been a Toastmaster since May of 2007, but she learned about Toastmasters in 1994. Wow. She was too terrified to go to a meeting. This sounds similar to some of us, even as a guest. For nearly 40 years, she was afraid of everything and had 7 strong phobias, including public speaking and visibility. An unexpected event changed her life and put her on a new trajectory. She is now an international speech and confidence coach, as well as a global visibility influencer with over 55K followers in 140 plus countries. Regarding her Toastmasters journey, she has proceeded, she says, at a slow and steady pace. 13 years to visit as a guest, 13 years to get her a distinguished Toastmaster. 3 years later, she is now a division director serving 18 clubs in Oakland, California, USA. In addition to these qualities and what she brings, she's also an experienced energy healer, a Reiki Master, a Theta Healing Practitioner, and intuitive medium. Yes, she works with dead and dying people and helps them transition without fear and in a peaceful, enlightened way. She has been nervous, even terrified, to come out with her special gifts. She has been reticent about publicly disclosing her training and talent. Her presentation is an attempt to use Toastmasters Projects to communicate her special gifts with clarity, humor, and without fear. She will be demonstrating the video from the speech on December 12th in front of Hollywood directors, producers, and screenwriters. This presentation is part of her trailer and one-woman show. Your response is extremely important. Cynthia Stott. She is speaking on the Visionary Path, Level 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. The objective is for her to learn about different communication styles and identify her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for her to share the impact of her style on others. Cynthia Stott, internal communication, Cynthia Stott.
I'm coming out. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm coming out. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm coming out. When you think of internal communication, what do you think of? It kind of sounds like the Internal Revenue or internal investigations from a sort of police force, but I'm talking about internal communications, your communications with yourself. I'm talking about those voices in your head, your inner critic, your shamer, your maybe the person that criticizes you the most. What can you do about that? What can you do about those voices in your head? Well, there's 2 things. You have to first, well, my clients, when I work with them, I give them a test and I figure out which of those 2 categories they're in. The first category is ego, a part that broke off of you, that is you, but needs to be reintegrated. The second one is an external voice, something that does not belong in your space. Maybe it's your grandmother or your father or your teacher. And the test is the same. I use light to test, a really concentrated metaphysical light. I call it the quantum light matrix. And it brings a thick white silvery light intertwined with a thick golden light, and that just illuminates things. And so I bring that light onto your parts, either your ego part or it's your external part. And if it's your ego part, then I use more of the light to integrate that part with yourself and to do sort of like couples counseling so that you understand how to communicate together. So it works for you win-win. What if it's an external part? You know, what do you do with this one? Well, you pour more light on it, and then you ask it, invite it to go to the light, kind of like a human dying. You know, you always talk about hearing near-death experiences. I was going towards the light. You ask it if it wants to go towards the light. If it resists, I do everything with free will, empowerment, not in darkness, not in banishment, not in burning up. It's all in love and light and win-win, even for that external part of my client. I don't let it stay in my client. I don't send it to another person, like one of them asked. I want to go back to the doctor where I came from. I said, no, we don't do that. We will send you to the light where you can go to another space that will be more, you'll be reintegrated into like the cosmic consciousness, and you can go to a higher level that's available to you. And I also, sometimes they're very resistant to the light. So I usually work in the heaven space. I take me and my client and their ugly buggly, that's their external part, up to heaven. And at one time it was very resistant. So I put a golden cage surrounding my client. I moved the cage to the right, and so the ugly buggly was outside of them. And he still wouldn't move and go to the light. So I pushed the cage in front of the throne of God, and he just melted. I let God take care of him. So I also offer them to check out the light and see if they want to go to the light. And if they want a guide or guardian to escort them and support them as they transition to the light. And one guy said, I don't want to go to the light. And I said, well, just check it out and see if it's something you want to do. Okay. He went there. And then he said, okay, I'll go, but I want help. And what do you want? He wanted sunglasses because it was so bright. And he wanted Elvis Presley. Elvis! Well, I was familiar with Elvis on the other side because one of my clients asked me to do a healing for her friend. But when I arrived metaphysically with her friend, she was already 90% dead. And in fact, she did die, but was resuscitated. She had a tracheotomy and she was resuscitated. And so I didn't have a lot of hope for her recovery. I tried to, but I didn't have a lot of hope for recovery, but I didn't think bad thoughts for her. I thought she's in fear and she's confused, and that's a terrible way to die. So my mission now changed to make her unafraid and not confused. So Elvis came and he met her and he said, I'm going to explain things to her, and took her out to wherever he took her to. And they came back about 20 minutes later, and she was no longer confused. She was no longer afraid. And I thought, well, I've done what I can. So I took my shower, went to work, called her friend and said, you know, I don't have much hope. But she's no longer afraid and she's no longer confused. So we'll see. And I was able to see her 2 weeks later. She was in a regular hospital room, sitting up on her bed, irritated with her tracheotomy patch coming off. And I was able to say, Donna, you survived. You almost died. In fact, you did. Do you have a purpose? And she said, yes. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Wow, that is a very interesting informational speech. You have definitely given some of us an expanded idea of internal communication. We had discussed that rather than having a single person evaluate your speech, we would do a round robin. So, but we also have, excuse me, opportunity for a question and answer at this point in time. So we've got several minutes here available for Q&A. And I see that Mike has his hand up. Michael.
So you got us all excited about Elvis Presley, and I got the impression it had something to do with Donna, but you didn't tell us how Elvis got involved in the whole story.
So Donna, when she was a young girl, her brother was in the military in the same troop as Elvis Presley. And so he knew her as the kid sister. And so he came from the other side to meet her at the gates of heaven and explain things to her. So she wasn't afraid and she wasn't confused.
Thank you.
And would you vote for the movie from this trailer? A yes or a no?
You know, it's an interesting subject, and I imagine you have a lot of experiences that people would like to hear. I know the life after life is a very popular subject. I know there's another, I think there's a movie out in the theaters right now about that. And so it was done by Angel, no, what was it called? I think it's, can't remember the name of the studios, but the same one that was done about the guy who was rescuing kids from exploitation. So that movie is either out there. Anyway, that's a very popular subject. People want to know what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm curious. So yeah, you would have a lot to offer.
Wonderful. I'm hoping to do my own one-woman show, and maybe I'll get some tips from Kari, because I've never even thought of doing it. But doing a one-woman show, kind of hooking together some of these speeches that I've been doing in the last couple months, and having the Hollywood producers and executives and screenwriters come and film that one-woman show, and then do a documentary based on the film.
Cynthia, I've got a question for you. You know, in listening to you recount your experiences and listening to you talk about some of what you do, the question I have is, you know, you were recounting this and it sounds like, oh yeah, this, and this, you know, and I do this and this is what happens. But part of me also is thinking that, well, is it really so easy and light, or is there actually maybe a little effort that might be involved in doing what you do? Because it sounded like, oh yeah, you know, I finished lunch and now I'm going to do this. But is it really so?
The process to get here was not easy. Not easy at all. Really, the reason why it started was because the death of my husband. And I went on a journey to find my courage and my self-love. And I became a primal scream instructor and hiked up mountains, even barefoot, and did all sorts of hard training. And I actually begged God. I said, no one is going to follow me. This hard training, nobody else is going to want to do it. And it'd be kind of nice if I didn't have to do such hard training anymore. So he showed me easier ways, Reiki and Theta Healing and some metaphysical tools that I received privately that came with no instructions, and that was hard, but they were much easier than my physical training, doing 100 push-ups a day after I couldn't open the doors. You know, I went through all hell and high water and spent lots of money, by the way, going to training in Korea 3 times and going to New York and going upstate New York and going to Canada and going to Sedona 15 times. I spent a big chunk of change healing myself.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank Cynthia and also Kari for their speeches and giving us some insight in terms of, for at their level, what they do, rehearsing and practicing for performance and for information. Following that now, at this point in the meeting, we're going to have just a little touch, a light touch of levity, and that will be shared by our general evaluator this evening, Michael Pruitt. He's going to be sharing some humor with us as our joke master. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. It is so interesting that we've just been hearing about making the transition, because that's what my joke is about. It's about the doctor and the patient. The doctor called the patient one day and he said, I have some bad news and I have some very bad news. And the patient said, well, what's the bad news? Oh, brother, Dr. Cartwright, you're here. Good. So the patient says, what's the bad news? And the doctor says, your tests came back and they show you only have 24 hours to live. And the patient said, well, what's the very bad news? And the doctor said, I've been trying to get a hold of you since yesterday.
Oh. That is horrible.
Thank you for that bit of humor. And now we have that part of the meeting where one can practice speaking extemporaneously, off the cuff, as it were. Table topics. And our table topics master for this evening is Wesson Sahai.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, how many people can I ask? We have only 20 minutes left.
So why don't we start with 4 and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I will ask who has no, let me ask Harry.
Okay.
Eh?
Okay.
Okay. And you talk about preparation and rehearsal, and we saw your performance and live not dress rehearsal. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
You cannot rehearse with the. Can you elaborate that question?
Okay. I'm sorry. The question is.
It's like the life is not a dress rehearsal.
Oh, okay. Life is not a dress rehearsal. No, it is not a dress rehearsal. You can ask anybody who gets the news that they have so much time to live. So when that happens, people start to take evaluations and look back on the things that they did and things they wanted to do, should have done, woulda, coulda, and all of that. But like, yeah, it's not a dress rehearsal. And so if you are on this planet and you're still breathing, then every minute, every opportunity to make choices and make a difference, you still have that as long as you're on this side of the dirt. So it's not a dress rehearsal, and don't take it for granted, and don't want to throw it away, because one of the things that I learned when I was in the throes of wanting to throw my life away is that there were a lot of people that would love to trade places with me, because while I was wanting to end my life, they wanted more time. And so, no, it's not a dress rehearsal. And so make the most of it, and live with purpose. And remember, karma will get you before your time is up. So whatever you're putting out there, be aware that it will come back to you. Back to you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, sorry.
Listen, I see Dee Marie Shy King has her hand up. She's volunteering.
Thank you. Let me, the timer as well, so let me write that down. Okay, Dee Marie. Okay, the best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. Do you agree with that? Dee Marie, can you hear me?
When I think of what I need to do tomorrow, as a matter of fact, that is exactly what I do. I prepare my agenda for the upcoming day the night before. How do you set your schedule for the day that you're about to embark on? When I prepare my agenda the night before, that allows me to get up the next morning and get started. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, I've done as much as some people do all day. I've mapped everything out. I know exactly what I need to do. And I can finish off the things that I had not completed the day before. So I prepare my agenda for the upcoming day the day before. I agree with your question. I think it is a way to get ahead of the game and to start out at a position of advantage. Because when we think about the core principles of Toastmasters, integrity, respect, service, and excellence, all of that starts with a plan. And if you can plan your upcoming day the day before, that allows you to make sure that everything that you want to include in those plans are spot on. It gives you the time to be intentional and to understand what your purpose is. What are you doing when it comes to planning your upcoming day? Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and let me go to Henry. I think he's busy. And let me ask Dr. Wade. Henry, are you okay to ask you? Or should I skip you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. And I think Dee Marie asked a question. What do you do for preparation? What is the best strategy for you to prepare for tomorrow?
Well, when I'm trying to decide the best way to prepare for tomorrow, first I like to think about what am I going to do, because different types of activities can require different types of preparation. And then next, I think about what kind of outcome do I want. So, for example, if I was running a race, if I was an athlete running a race, I would want to I'm thinking about ways to prepare my body to run faster, to avoid injuries. Or if I'm preparing a speech, I'm thinking about ways to make my speech more interesting, more dynamic, more ways to get the audience's attention.
You're going on vacation?
Yeah, or if I'm going on vacation, the things that I might need to bring with me to have all the stuff that I might need while I'm away to enjoy myself. So yeah, usually I'm thinking about things like that. What I'm going to do and what outcomes I want. So if I'm going to be going to the beach while I'm on vacation, and I want to have things that like a bathing suit and sunscreen and that kind of stuff, and so that I don't get sunburn. And then I'll start doing work, just working on focusing on that, and then that way when the next day comes, I'll already have in mind a plan, and then I'll already have the necessary tools and skills kind of warmed up and ready to go, and so I can do my best. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Okay, I can see Cassandra. Can I ask you? Ready? I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
And now I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, my question is for you, as our successes depend on our preparation. But do you think luck, our successes depend on our luck as well, or just only our preparation?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question again, please?
Our successes depend on our preparation. But sometimes luck maybe is luck is depend on our successes depend on luck. Is any what I can say is, do you believe in luck? Any luck for our
No.
success?
I don't believe in luck. I believe that things occur because it's supposed to happen that way. I don't believe in luck. I believe that things occur because it was supposed to happen that way. So if a situation happens, it was supposed to happen. If I met you, it was supposed to happen. If I met Kawazi, it was supposed to happen that way. If I'm in this space with you, it was supposed to happen that way. So things occur in life because they were supposed to happen. It was meant that way. There's a natural occurrence in the universe, and it was meant to be. So I don't believe in luck. I believe it's a natural occurrence, and it was meant to be that way. And life There's opportunities in life. And if you miss out on those things, it's because you didn't take advantage of those opportunities. So it's not a matter of luck. You create your opportunities, just as in Toastmasters, in pathways. Those things are there. And if you don't take advantage of them, it's because you didn't take those opportunities. That's what I believe. Thank you for that question.
Thank you so very much. I wish I could ask more questions, but we have only 10 minutes left. And thank you. Preparation is very important. And we saw from Kari's speech, we saw how much she was prepared and she practiced. And we saw she's like, I feel like I was watching some kind of movie. And and thank you for that. Preparation is very important. And you've been prepared because when ask you question, you just came up with the answer. That means you are heard every day. And when the opportunity comes, here you go. Thank you so very much. Back to
You're
you,
welcome.
Mr. Master.
Thank you for those wonderful questions, Madam Tabletop Master. And I appreciated the answers that our guests and members gave. Very thought-provoking. Now, at this point in the meeting, we will have what is the evaluative part. To that end, I'm going to call our general evaluator, Mike Pruitt, to the virtual lectern, and he will gather members of his team for their reports.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So the first person on our evaluation team tonight is Cassandra Garabedian, evaluating the speech by Kelley. Cassandra Garabedian.
Oh, Kari, your speech was phenomenal. You took that better speaking series speech and you knocked it out of the park. Preparation, practice to excellence. You gave us an insight into not only how to prepare for a speech, but you gave us insight to who you are as a speaker, as a woman, as a storyteller. You gave it with such powerful emotion, but also with humor. You laid it out to us step by step, what it takes to prepare for a speech. You gave us to us with props, but not only with props, but you told the story as you did it. You led us into what occurred to you as a child, but you chronicalized it. And you told the story with such, I don't know, it was just, you gave it with humor and you gave it with grace. and you gave it with a song. You sang to us, and you brought us up, and you gave it with a little swag to it. But then you brought us down, but you didn't leave us down there. You brought us back up. And you told us about that light within you that didn't die. So there was hope there. And it was fascinating. And you showed us that there's always hope. I can't see the timer, so just bear with me.
It's right. It's right.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, Kari, it was fascinating, and you just told us always be there. So it was a fascinating speech, Kari, and take it all the way because it was fascinating. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cassandra. So now we have a round robin evaluation for Cynthia. Is that what we're going to do?
Yes,
I don't know how many minutes we have. Only 5 or less than
we've got
7
3
minutes left.
minutes. 3 minutes for the round
2
robin.
minutes. Okay, so we're going to have like 30 seconds for each person that wants to get involved. And
Yes,
can you time that 30 seconds for each person, Sahai?
30 seconds each. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Okay, I'll just start off by saying that, again, the life after life message is something that appeals to a lot of people. And if you have some interesting stories, like the one about Elvis Presley, who was buddies with this girl's brother and met him on the other side, that is such a human interest story that you have a bunch of those, you're going to have a good movie. Okay, next. Who's next?
Kari, Kelley had her hand up.
Okay. I've experienced that quantum light matrix meditation, and I had a very profound experience with that around forgiveness. I was able to forgive in such a way that I really felt like I was forgiving people. And it wasn't just lip service. I mean, I could actually it was heartfelt forgiveness for the people that wronged and harmed me. So there is something to it. The other only thing that I will say is you have to open your own self up for your own forgiveness before you can forgive other people. And that was the secret that I got when I worked with Cynthia in that quantum light matrix. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
You, Kari. You're amazing. Oh, I think Barbara's got her hand up.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I've been pretty quiet tonight, listening, learning a lot. Sorry I got here a little late. Cynthia, you speak my language. I really loved what you shared, and I got very excited about the whole topic. And I loved the part about Elvis. I don't see Elvis. I'm like jealous. But okay, so far, you could take me to Elvis next time. Besides that, I loved your hand gestures. You did quite a few that, and they were, I think they're fun. I really like the different tones that you use. I like that you shared about the event. I think you said in December with the movie people. Good luck. I have a feeling they're going to have a lot of fun with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for one more, maybe?
Nope,
All out of time.
we're out of time.
There we go. Okay, so now it's time for our timers report. Wes, can you give us a timers report?
Sure. Okay. Our first speaker, Kari, 13 to 15 minutes. She spoke for 14 minutes and 57 seconds. And for
Wow.
question and answer, 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Almost 50 something seconds together. And Cynthia, 5 to 7 minutes. She spoke for 7 minutes and 25 seconds. The question and answer, 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Table topics. Kari, 1 minute and 22 seconds. Mary, 1 minute and 31 seconds. Henry, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Cassandra, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. For the evaluation, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. That's my report.
Thank you, Wes. And Bruce Taylor, would you like to give us a grammarian all-counter report?
Okay, I will do the best I can. In no particular order, Michael, I have 2 R's. Wes, I have several R's above 10. Kawaza, surprisingly, lots of R's, and a couple of you-knows and several so's. Cassandra, you said there is opportunities?
There are,
Opportunities being-
yeah,
Yes.
got it.
And in 3s, you went speaker, woman, and storytellers. And 3s always draw attention. Kari, in your speech, several fillers, several so's. I won't give the number. I just like to make you aware of them. Same thing with the R's and a couple of you-knows. You tend to use the word gonna instead of going to. And you said, and can't remember what it was, but it got delivered. Should have been it was delivered. You said inner spark. That having a vowel sound, it should have been an inner spark. You said all my secrets. That should have been all of my secrets. You said there is parts, parts being plural. That should have been there are parts. And you said practice me acting. That should have been my acting. Should be a possessive pronoun to precede an ing verb. That concludes my grammarian report. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Bruce. As general evaluator, I have an opportunity to give an overall evaluation of the meeting. I was delighted that we had lots of people here, 13 participants. That was wonderful. We had 2 wonderful prepared speeches. I was so glad to see Kari again. I really enjoyed her speech that she gave a couple weeks ago. And I went out and got her book. I ordered her book and I read it. And I decided to write my book. So thank you, Kari. Cynthia, I'm excited for you with your movie. Tell lots of those Elvis Presley stories, and people will love it. Bruce, thank you for your all-counter grammarian work. Wes, thank you for doing 2 roles. Wow. The, the timer and the table topics master. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who participated and answered questions. And Kawaza, thank you for leading the meeting. It was a great meeting. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for that evaluation of the meeting. We do like to be prompt in our meeting, both in starting and in ending. And I'm aware that we are just a little bit after the hour here. We would like to end our meeting, but I would like to hear from our guest very briefly your impression of the meeting tonight.
Is Lisa there?
I am here.
Woo, great.
Yep. So it's always a great meeting here. I've been here a couple of times and I was quiet, but I really enjoyed listening. And I thought that the 2 speakers were great. And I'm looking forward to the development of the movie and to seeing the play in development and being shown. So it's a wonderful evening of developing artists. And thank you for inviting me. I rest my mic.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I guess that's it from our guests for tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this meeting. And I like to thank again our speakers for their speeches and preparation, offering 2 different ways that they prepared to get to where they are right now. Kari for her preparation and doing the one-woman show, and Cynthia, who in her way is also preparing for a one-woman show in terms of being in front of the camera. So thank you very much for sharing what it takes to prepare, rehearse, and do that best performance. I want to wish everybody a great evening and weekend, and look forward to seeing you here at the Vision Masters Toastmasters next week.
And Lisa, thank you for your help today. You should have heard me at 11:30 this afternoon. It was nowhere near what it was. I had an inspiration, and Lisa really helped me move that forward and gave me a way to fit it into this communication speech. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Cynthia. My pleasure. There's a joy that I really get out of mentoring. If any of you have not mentored, it's good to step up and become a mentor to your fellow Toastmasters.
Right.
And for you, Cynthia, it's really, really a 2-way street. And I've enjoyed our conversations and helping me to move forward as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Okay, everyone.
everyone. Take care.
Good
Thank
night,
you,
everyone.
Kawazi. Thank you, Kawazi. Thank you, Dr. Wade.
Thank you,
Great
Dr.
meeting.
Waza. It was a great meeting. Enjoyed being here.
And we enjoy having you as well, Annie Marie. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Everyone have
Oh,
a
and
good
Wes,
night.
you're not going to be here next week, are you?
No, I'll
I'm going to
not
miss
be here.
you.
I'll see you after Thanksgiving.